In the ceaseless rhythm of modern life, where effort and striving often dominate our pursuits, a profound lesson from Buddhist philosophy offers an alternative approach. It teaches us the art of non-force, a way of living that harmonizes with the natural flow of existence rather than against it. This principle challenges us to let go of the urge to control every outcome, inviting us instead to embrace a mindful, balanced path. Through the lens of Zen stories and the timeless teachings of Buddha, we embark on a journey to explore the depths of non-force and its transformative power in creating a life of peace and fulfillment. Imagine a river flowing gently through a verdant valley. Its waters, unhurried and serene, find their way around obstacles, adapting to the terrain without resistance. This image captures the essence of non-force. The river does not demand that the rocks move aside. It flows with grace, carving its path over time. Similarly, in our lives, when we stop pushing against the currents and begin to flow with them, we discover a profound sense of harmony and ease. The concept of non-force is rooted in the wisdom of Buddhist philosophy, which emphasizes balance and mindfulness. It begins with understanding the nature of impermanence. Everything in life is transient. Our joys, our sorrows, our achievements, and even our struggles. When we cling too tightly to any one outcome, we invite unnecessary suffering. By contrast, when we embrace impermanence, we free ourselves from the weight of attachment, allowing life to unfold naturally. To illustrate, consider the story of a farmer and his horse, often recounted in Zen teachings. One day, the farmer's horse runs away, and his neighbors lament his misfortune. The farmer calmly replies, "Maybe." A few days later, the horse returns, bringing with it a herd of wild horses. The neighbors rejoice at his newfound fortune, but again, the farmer simply says, "Maybe." Soon after, the farmer's son attempts to tame one of the wild horses and breaks his leg. The neighbors mourn his bad luck, and the farmer responds as before, "Maybe." Finally, soldiers come to conscript young men for war, but leave the farmer's son behind due to his injury. At each turn, the farmer's acceptance of life's events, without resistance or force, exemplifies the principle of non-attachment and trust in life's natural flow. This story offers a profound lesson. When we relinquish the need to judge every situation as good or bad, we open ourselves to the unfolding of events with equanimity. This perspective, central to Buddhist teachings, helps us navigate life's ups and downs with greater resilience and peace. Central to the practice of non-force is the middle way, a foundational principle in Buddhism introduced by Buddha himself. The middle way advocates a balanced approach, steering clear of extremes, neither indulgence in worldly pleasures nor excessive self-denial. Before attaining enlightenment, Buddha experienced both the opulence of princely life and the austerity of asceticism, finding neither path satisfactory. It was through moderation and balance that he discovered the path to liberation. In practical terms, the middle way invites us to approach life with mindfulness and intentionality. Consider the challenges of maintaining physical health. On one end of the spectrum, neglecting our well-being can lead to illness and fatigue. On the other, obsessively chasing perfection through extreme diets or grueling exercise regimens can result in burnout. The middle way encourages us to care for our bodies with kindness and moderation, recognizing their impermanent nature while honoring their role in our journey. This balanced approach extends to our mental and emotional well-being. In moments of anger or frustration, for instance, the principle of non-force reminds us to pause and reflect rather than react impulsively. Through mindfulness practices such as meditation, we learn to observe our emotions without judgment, creating space for thoughtful responses. This practice not only reduces harm but also fosters understanding and compassion. The interconnectedness of all things, another cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, further enriches our understanding of non-force. Known as praditya samutpada, or dependent origination, this principle teaches that nothing exists in isolation. Every phenomenon arises from a web of interdependent causes and conditions. By recognizing this interconnectedness, we develop a deeper appreciation for the impact of our actions and the importance of living harmoniously with others and the natural world. A simple yet powerful example of interconnectedness can be found in nature. Consider a tree. Its growth depends on sunlight, water, soil nutrients, and the surrounding ecosystem of microorganisms. Each element plays a crucial role, and none can be removed without affecting the whole. Similarly, our lives are intricately woven into the fabric of relationships, communities, and the environment. When we act with mindfulness and compassion, acknowledging our interdependence, we contribute to a more harmonious and balanced existence. The practice of non-force also involves cultivating patience and trust in life's natural rhythm. In a culture that often glorifies speed and efficiency, waiting can feel uncomfortable or even counterproductive. Yet, as the teachings of Buddha remind us, not all progress is linear, and some of life's most meaningful transformations require time. Just as a seed must rest in the soil before it sprouts, our aspirations and efforts need the space to unfold at their own pace. Consider the journey of personal growth. When striving to adopt a new habit or skill, we may encounter setbacks or slow progress. Rather than forcing immediate results, non-force encourages us to approach the process with curiosity and kindness. By celebrating small steps and trusting in gradual improvement, we align with life's natural rhythm and cultivate resilience. Moreover, the principle of non-force invites us to examine our relationship with control. The desire to control outcomes often stems from fear of uncertainty, failure, or loss. Yet, as Buddhist teachings reveal, control is an illusion. Life's impermanence ensures that change is inevitable. By releasing our grip on control and embracing acceptance, we find freedom from the anxiety and stress that accompany resistance. To illustrate, imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, it stays in your palm. This metaphor captures the essence of non-force. By loosening our grip and allowing life to unfold naturally, we create space for peace and possibility. Incorporating non-force into daily life begins with mindfulness, the practice of bringing our full attention to the present moment. Whether through meditation, mindful breathing, or simply observing our surroundings, mindfulness helps us cultivate awareness and presence. With this foundation, we can approach each day with greater clarity and intention, responding to life's challenges with wisdom rather than reactivity. One practical application of mindfulness is in communication. In conversations, especially during disagreements, it's easy to fall into patterns of defensiveness or interruption. By practicing mindful listening, we create a space for genuine understanding and connection. This act of holding silence and truly hearing another person exemplifies the principle of non-force, fostering harmony and mutual respect. Another area where non-force manifests is in our relationship with goals and aspirations. While ambition and effort are important, the teachings of Buddhism remind us to pursue our aims with detachment. This does not mean abandoning our goals, but rather releasing the need to force specific outcomes. By focusing on the journey and remaining open to unforeseen possibilities, we often find greater fulfillment and success. For example, an artist creating a painting might initially envision a specific outcome. However, as the process unfolds, unexpected challenges or inspirations may arise, leading to a result that surpasses their original vision. By embracing non-force, the artist allows creativity to flow, unburdened by rigid expectations. As we delve deeper into the principles of non-force, it becomes clear that this approach is not about passivity or inaction. On the contrary, it calls for active engagement with life, guided by mindfulness, compassion, and trust. It is a practice of aligning our actions with the natural flow of existence, finding balance between effort and acceptance. Let us carry this wisdom forward, ready to explore its application in various dimensions of life. And as you embark on this journey, consider joining our community at Buddhism in Modern Life. Subscribe to our channel to discover more ways to integrate these teachings into your daily experience, cultivating peace, balance, and fulfillment along the way. As we journey further into the philosophy of non-force, we uncover layers of meaning and practical wisdom that extend beyond personal tranquility. This principle has the power to transform how we interact with others, approach challenges, and perceive the world. By embracing non-force, We find that it offers not only inner peace, but also the keys to creating harmony in our relationships and communities. To understand the transformative reach of non-force, consider the role it plays in human interactions. At its heart, non-force encourages us to approach others with empathy and respect, valuing their autonomy and perspectives. This approach stands in stark contrast to common tendencies to persuade, manipulate, or impose our will on others. By practicing non-force, we foster connections based on mutual understanding and trust. Take, for example, the dynamics of workplace collaboration. In many professional settings, conflicts arise when individuals hold rigid positions or compete for dominance. These clashes often escalate as parties push harder to assert their views. Non-force offers a refreshing alternative. Instead of pressing to win an argument, we can pause, listen, and seek common ground. This shift not only de-escalates tension, but also paves the way for creative solutions that benefit everyone involved. One inspiring story from Zen teachings illustrates this beautifully. A master, known for his wisdom, was approached by two monks arguing over the ownership of a stray dog. Each monk claimed the dog for his own, presenting elaborate justifications. The master, after listening intently, simply said, "The dog belongs to itself." His response, rooted in non-force, dissolved the argument and reminded the monks of the interconnectedness and autonomy of all beings. This principle also transforms how we navigate challenges and setbacks. Life often presents obstacles that seem insurmountable, and our instinctive reaction is to push harder. Yet, as non-force teaches, there is often a more effective and harmonious way to address difficulties. By adapting and flowing with circumstances rather than resisting them. Consider the example of a gardener tending to a wilting plant. Rather than forcing it to revive by overwatering or fertilizing, the gardener observes patiently, adjusting the care to meet the plant's needs. Perhaps it requires more sunlight, better soil drainage, or simply time to recover. This gentle, adaptive approach mirrors the essence of non-force, working with conditions rather than against them. In our own lives, this perspective encourages us to cultivate patience and resilience. When faced with a setback, such as losing a job or facing a health challenge, non-force invites us to accept the situation without resignation. This acceptance creates space for clarity and insight, enabling us to respond with wisdom. By focusing on what we can influence and releasing what we cannot, we align ourselves with life's natural flow, discovering opportunities for growth and renewal. The principle of non-force is closely tied to the Buddhist concept of letting go, which emphasizes releasing attachments to outcomes, possessions, and even identities. This practice is not about abandoning ambition or desire, but about approaching them with lightness and flexibility. By letting go, we free ourselves from the weight of expectations, allowing joy and creativity to flourish. An artist's journey offers a vivid illustration of this idea. Imagine a painter starting a new piece with a specific vision in mind. Along the way, unexpected challenges arise, colors blend differently than anticipated, or a brushstroke doesn't align with the initial plan. Instead of forcing the artwork to match the original concept, the painter embraces these surprises, letting the painting evolve organically. Often, the final creation surpasses what was initially imagined, a testament to the power of letting go. This practice of releasing control extends to our relationships as well. In parenting, for instance, the urge to micromanage a child's life can stem from a place of love and concern. Yet, non-force reminds us that children, like all beings, thrive when given the space to grow and explore at their own pace. By offering guidance without coercion, parents nurture not only their children's independence, but also their trust and confidence. Another dimension of non-force is its ability to cultivate deeper mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and attentive to the moment without judgment. When combined with non-force, mindfulness becomes a powerful tool for navigating life's complexities with grace. It teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them, creating a foundation for intentional and compassionate action. For instance, in moments of frustration or anger, The practice of non-force encourages us to pause and breathe rather than react impulsively. This simple act of mindfulness transforms potential conflict into an opportunity for understanding. A heated argument with a loved one, for example, can shift dramatically when one party chooses to listen silently rather than counter every point. This silence, grounded in non-force, often diffuses tension and opens the door to meaningful resolution. The philosophy of non-force also extends to our broader relationship with the world. In an era defined by environmental challenges and social unrest, this principle offers guidance for fostering sustainability and collective well-being. Non-force teaches us to tread lightly on the earth, recognizing our interdependence with nature and each other. By aligning our actions with the rhythms of the natural world, we contribute to its preservation and balance. A powerful example of this is the practice of permaculture, a method of agriculture that works with, rather than against, natural ecosystems. By observing and mimicking the patterns of nature, permaculture farmers cultivate land in a way that regenerates soil, conserves water, and supports biodiversity. This approach embodies non-force, demonstrating how harmony with nature can yield abundance without depletion. On a societal level, non-force inspires a shift from competition to collaboration. In communities and organizations, adopting this principle means valuing inclusivity and cooperation over dominance and rivalry. When leaders embrace non-force, they create environments where diverse voices are heard, and collective wisdom flourishes. This approach not only strengthens relationships but also fosters innovation and resilience. Imagine a team working on a complex project. In a force-driven culture, individuals may vie for control or recognition, often at the expense of the group's success. In a non-forceful environment, however, team members support one another, sharing knowledge and resources freely. This spirit of collaboration transforms challenges into opportunities, unlocking the team's full potential. As we integrate non-force into our lives, its transformative power becomes evident not only in personal growth, but also in the ripple effects it creates within our communities. By embodying this principle, we contribute to a culture of peace, understanding, and shared purpose. Let us carry forward the lessons of non-force as we continue this exploration. And as you reflect on these insights, consider joining our community at Buddhism in Modern Life. Subscribe to our channel for more teachings and practices that illuminate the path to mindfulness, compassion, and harmony. Together, let us embrace the wisdom of non-force, creating a world where balance and connection thrive. As we progress further into the philosophy of non-force, its potential to facilitate self-discovery and personal growth becomes increasingly apparent. Beyond creating harmony in external relationships, non-force invites us to explore the inner landscape of our minds and emotions. By applying this principle to our inner world, we cultivate resilience, wisdom, and a profound sense of self-awareness that transforms how we experience life. At the heart of non-force and self-discovery lies the practice of introspection. In a society that often prioritizes action and achievement, the quiet act of looking inward can feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. Yet, as Buddhist teachings remind us, the path to understanding and liberation begins within. Non-force encourages us to engage in introspection without judgment, observing our thoughts and feelings with curiosity and compassion. Consider the metaphor of a still pond. When the water is agitated, it becomes murky, obscuring the reflections it holds. Similarly, when our minds are restless or reactive, we struggle to see clearly. Non-force, like the practice of mindfulness, helps us calm the waters of our minds. In this stillness, we gain clarity, seeing our patterns, motivations, and desires for what they truly are. A common application of this principle is in navigating emotional turbulence. When faced with strong emotions such as anger, fear, or sadness, our instinct may be to suppress or fight against them. Non-force offers a different path, allowing emotions to arise and pass without resistance. This practice does not mean indulging or becoming overwhelmed by emotions, but rather observing them as transient experiences. Through this lens, we learn that emotions, like waves, rise and fall naturally when left undisturbed. Imagine someone experiencing frustration after a disagreement with a colleague. Instead of dwelling on the argument or attempting to suppress their feelings, they choose to sit quietly and reflect. By observing their frustration without judgment, they notice its root, perhaps an unmet expectation or a miscommunication. This insight, born from non-force, enables them to address the issue constructively rather than react impulsively. The principle of non-force also guides us in cultivating self-compassion, a vital aspect of personal growth. Many of us hold ourselves to high standards, often becoming our harshest critics. This inner struggle creates tension and inhibits growth. Non-force invites us to release this self-imposed pressure, replacing judgment with kindness and understanding. A poignant example of this is the journey of learning a new skill. Whether picking up a musical instrument, practicing a sport, or mastering a language, progress often involves setbacks and moments of doubt. Through the lens of non-force, these challenges are not viewed as failures, but as integral parts of the learning process. By approaching ourselves with patience and encouragement, we create an environment where growth can flourish. This approach aligns with the Buddhist principle of right effort, which emphasizes balanced and mindful perseverance. Right effort is not about relentless striving, but about engaging with our endeavors in a way that is sustainable and attuned to our capacities. It encourages us to work diligently while honoring the natural rhythms of rest and renewal. In doing so, we avoid burnout and cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment. Non-force also has profound implications for how we set and pursue goals. In a culture that often equates success with constant hustle, the idea of achieving through non-force may seem counterintuitive. Yet, this principle reminds us that forcing outcomes can lead to unnecessary stress and missed opportunities. By aligning our efforts with the natural flow of life, we often find that progress unfolds more organically and effectively. Consider a gardener planting seeds. They do not tug at the seedlings to make them grow faster. Instead, they provide the necessary conditions, sunlight, water, and nourishment, and trust the process. Similarly, in our own pursuits, non-force encourages us to focus on creating favorable conditions rather than obsessing over immediate results. This perspective fosters patience and trust, allowing us to celebrate each step of the journey. The philosophy of non-force also invites us to re-evaluate our relationship with time. Many of us live under the constant pressure of deadlines, feeling as though there is never enough time. This sense of urgency often leads to hurried decisions and a loss of presence. Non-force challenges us to step out of this frenetic pace, reminding us that time, like a river, flows steadily and cannot be forced. Through mindfulness practices such as meditation or mindful breathing, we learn to anchor ourselves in the present moment. This shift in focus from getting things done to being present transforms our experience of time. Tasks become less burdensome, and we find joy in the process rather than fixating on the outcome. In this way, non-force not only enhances productivity but also enriches the quality of our lives. Another profound dimension of non-force and self-discovery is its role in fostering creativity. Creativity often requires a delicate balance between structure and freedom. When we force creativity, demanding inspiration on a strict schedule or adhering rigidly to preconceived ideas, we stifle its flow. Non-force, by contrast, allows creativity to emerge naturally, often in unexpected and delightful ways. An artist's story captures this beautifully. Struggling to complete a painting, they decide to take a walk in nature rather than continue forcing the process. During the walk, they notice patterns of light and shadow on the leaves, sparking an idea that transforms their work. This experience highlights how stepping back and allowing space for inspiration can lead to breakthroughs that effort alone cannot achieve. The interplay of non-force and creativity extends to problem-solving as well. When faced with a challenging situation, our initial impulse may be to overanalyze or fixate on finding a solution. Yet, as the Zen principle of no mind suggests, clarity often arises when we let go of striving and allow the mind to rest. By trusting in our intuition and the natural unfolding of ideas, we open ourselves to innovative solutions. As we explore these dimensions of non-force, it becomes evident that this principle is not a passive state but an active practice of mindfulness, trust, and alignment with life's rhythms. It invites us to engage with life wholeheartedly while releasing the need to control or force outcomes. Through this practice, we discover a deeper sense of harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. Let us continue to embrace the wisdom of non-force, integrating its lessons into our inner and outer lives. And as you reflect on these insights, consider joining our community at Buddhism in Modern Life. Subscribe to our channel to explore more teachings and practices that illuminate the path to self-discovery, creativity, and fulfillment. Together, let us nurture the transformative power of non-force in every aspect of our journey. As we arrive at the final stage of our exploration, it is time to consider the broader implications of non-force. This principle, which begins as an individual practice of mindfulness and acceptance, has the potential to inspire profound changes in our communities, societies, and even the global stage. By applying the lessons of non-force to collective challenges, we can pave the way for a more compassionate, sustainable, and harmonious world. At the heart of non-force and collective harmony is the idea of collaboration over competition. In a world often driven by rivalries and the pursuit of dominance, non-force encourages us to shift our focus toward cooperation and mutual benefit. This approach is not about sacrificing individual success, but about recognizing that our well-being is deeply intertwined with that of others. Consider the example of conflict resolution. In many cases, conflicts escalate because each party clings to their position, unwilling to yield. Non-force offers a transformative alternative. Instead of pushing for victory, parties are encouraged to listen deeply, seek understanding, and prioritize shared goals. This method, rooted in empathy and patience, not only resolves disputes but also strengthens relationships, fostering trust and unity. One remarkable illustration of this is the practice of restorative justice. Unlike traditional punitive systems, restorative justice focuses on healing and reconciliation. When a harm occurs, all parties, the wrongdoer, the victim, and the community, come together to address the impact and find a path forward. This process embodies non-force by prioritizing dialogue and restoration over punishment, creating outcomes that are more humane and effective. The philosophy of non-force also holds valuable lessons for leadership. In an era where assertiveness and control are often equated with strength, non-force redefines leadership as a practice of humility, service, and inclusion. Leaders who embrace non-force inspire others not through coercion but through integrity and vision. By valuing diverse perspectives and empowering their teams, they create environments where collaboration thrives. An inspiring example of such leadership is the late Nelson Mandela. His approach to leading South Africa out of apartheid was deeply rooted in non-force. Rather than seeking revenge against those who upheld the system of oppression, Mandela championed forgiveness and reconciliation. This choice, though difficult, laid the foundation for healing and unity, demonstrating the transformative power of non-force on a national scale. Beyond leadership, non-force has profound implications for addressing global challenges, particularly in the realms of environmental sustainability and social justice. The principle teaches us to act with mindfulness and respect for the interconnectedness of all life. By aligning our actions with the rhythms of the natural world, we can address ecological crises in ways that are both effective and harmonious. Take, for instance, the global movement toward renewable energy. Transitioning away from fossil fuels requires significant effort, yet forcing this change through aggressive, top-down measures can meet resistance. By instead engaging communities, fostering innovation, and aligning with natural systems, such as harnessing solar and wind power, we achieve progress that is sustainable and widely supported. This approach exemplifies non-force in action, demonstrating how balance and collaboration yield enduring solutions. Non-force also invites us to reimagine our economic systems. In a world where success is often measured by accumulation and growth, this principle encourages a shift towards sufficiency and shared prosperity. By embracing concepts such as circular economies, where resources are reused rather than wasted, and community-based initiatives, we align with non-force to create systems that serve both people and the planet. On a personal level, non-force inspires us to become agents of change within our own spheres of influence. Whether through small acts of kindness, advocating for justice, or adopting sustainable practices, each of us has the power to contribute to a culture of non-force. These individual efforts, when multiplied across communities, create a ripple effect of positive transformation. Consider the example of grassroots environmental movements. Individuals coming together to plant trees, clean rivers, or advocate for local conservation efforts may seem small in scale, yet their impact grows exponentially as others join and support their cause. This collective action, driven by the principles of non-force, showcases how harmony and persistence can overcome even the most daunting challenges. Education, too, plays a critical role in spreading the values of non-force. By teaching children and adults alike the importance of mindfulness, empathy, and collaboration, we equip future generations with the tools to navigate conflict and build a more compassionate society. Schools that incorporate social-emotional learning and restorative practices into their curricula exemplify this approach, fostering environments where students thrive both academically and emotionally. At its core, non-force is a practice of faith in the natural flow of life, in the power of compassion, and in our collective capacity to create a better world. This faith does not imply passivity but calls for intentional, mindful action rooted in kindness and understanding. It reminds us that the greatest transformations often begin with small, steady steps, taken with care and conviction. As we conclude this exploration of non-force, let us reflect on its potential to shape our lives and the world around us. By embracing this principle, we not only find personal peace, but also contribute to a legacy of harmony and connection that transcends generations. We invite you to continue this journey with us at Buddhism in Modern Life. Subscribe to our channel to explore more teachings and practices that illuminate the path to collective well-being and global transformation. Together, let us honor the wisdom of non-force, creating a world where balance, compassion, and understanding flourish.